out the log in my own.
From the studios of Hamilton Radio. From the studios of Hamilton Radio, welcome to Sold Out, the only Christian music program dedicated to independent Christian artists, their music, and their ministries. Now, here is your host, Ministry Director of the Sold Out Coffee House, and live sound engineer, John Akunzo, along with your co-host, singer, songwriter, and independent Christian musician, Richard Jeppes.
I'm sold out. Come on, let's say it real loud. I'm sold out.
Uh-oh, we almost got the outro.
Hey!
The shortest edition of the show in history.
Well, that was.
This is great,
like
that was the outro.
and we're done.
And we're done. See how great fun we have?
Whew.
Hello, and welcome to Sold Out.
Hi.
Here on this beautiful June, feeling like July day.
It is a beautiful, beautiful day after a gray day yesterday.
In case you're a first-time listener, I am John Akunzo, and with me is my wonderful, illustrious co-host.
Hello, I'm Rich Jeppes. It's
Yes.
nice to see you and hear you again.
Man of 1,000 voices, as he'll be doing our...
And they all sound like the same one. It's amazing.
That's right. And I make him do all of our commercials, as you'll hear.
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, yep.
Freestyling with Rich when we do our commercials. And anyway, we're glad you joined us today. And we're hoping that if you're really having a rough week, that maybe our bantering and our joking and kibitzing here will give you a smile.
Yes.
to take away the frownness on your face.
And if you're happy and you know it, clap
Clap
your
your
hands.
hands. Right, exactly.
Yes.
And I know, speaking good of really bad segues, our musical guest today will make everybody very happy. And we know it, only because I've seen him before. I've seen him at the Kindred Awards. And I was happy and honored that Tim Ewing asked me to MC that wonderful event. And I got to introduce all of the artists that were either presenting or receiving awards. and I was really honored to get to meet him and hear something you don't hear too much anymore, an original Christmas song, which won an award.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's really good. But anyway, Mr. Matt Wheeler's in the house,
Yes.
everybody.
And I'm happy, and I know it. So I'm clapping my
Happy,
hands.
and he does know it. And
Thank
if
you,
you've
guys.
been listening to both the SWAT or the Sold Out program, you know we've been playing the song that's named after his band or the band that's named after his song, whichever the case may be. Vintage
Song came
Heart.
first.
Vintage
The song
Heart.
came first, then the band.
That's
Then
a
the
great
band after.
band. That is a great band name, yeah.
Vintage Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, how long of a ride was it for you today? Did you come up? You live in the York area?
I live in Lancaster County, so Mountjoy more precisely. but
goodness.
so it was about 2 hours.
So we're glad to have you. We call that the Lancaster Sound. Any of the bands that come from that area seem to have a specific sound. And
Yeah.
and we do our annual Battle of the Christian Bands every year for child abuse awareness. And we have a band that we call it our poster child because even if he finishes last, he comes back every year. And that is Brad Ryan.
Oh yeah,
And
he's a good friend of mine.
and the band-
Former member of my band, actually.
you go.
I played bass for a while with
See
me.
that? See
Juan
that?
Catorce?
Yeah.
That's where I know you from.
So,
I
yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
I met you. You were at the first Yahweh Fest.
I wasn't. So like I wasn't in his band, but he was in mine. Well, although actually the occasion to where they came up with the name Juan Catorce Band.
Yes.
I did sit in with him playing guitar and backing vocals and things like
Okay.
that. And we did it at Clipper Magazine Stadium in Lancaster where the Barnstormers play.
Okay.
And Don Piper, not John Piper, was speaking.
Right,
And I think that like the passage was John 14. And when that's why, like, he jokingly after, like, we didn't name the band. It was just like a collaboration of friends. You know, Brad Ryan fronting, you know, whatever this
Right,
was.
yeah.
And like he posted a picture and jokingly called it the Juan Catorce Band because of the
Yes.
John 14.
John 14.
And then a few months later, I got like a, you know, invitation to like this band called Juan Catorce Band, you know, invited by Brad. I was like, oh, you're actually like going to use the
stuck.
name. That's cool. So yeah, I was surprised at anyone for that. And yeah, Brad and I have been friends for years, and like
cool.
he was a bass player and Matt Wheeler in Vintage Art for a while. It was a more loose collaboration at first, and yeah, he there were times we played the same events, and we have similar enough voices that like if someone was in a different room, they wouldn't necessarily know which band was playing.
It's true.
At least at the time, I think we branched out stylistically enough that it's a little less obvious. But yeah, so Brad is a friend of mine, I know Rob Dunham and
of course,
the rest of the band.
Yeah, of course, Nate
Miller.
Nate Miller.
Nate Miller, yeah.
From Jeff Scott Studios, and
Yeah.
it's just a great dude. He's a great producer and just a great musician. I love Nate a lot. And the Juan Catorce Band, now known as Blue Sky Falls,
Yes.
is in our Battle of the Christian Bands every year. And we actually got them some hardware. They actually came in third last time.
Yeah.
So
That's
until they
fantastic.
get, our rules say until you come in first to get the grand prize, you can keep coming back if you're
Yeah.
invited. But I made him our poster child, so he's there every year. And he said, we don't care whether we win. We're there for the children.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're there for the kids, and especially since they themselves have a child with
Yeah.
special needs.
Yeah.
They're
as
there
well.
to give back and to show support for the victims of child sexual abuse that we rescue. My other radio partner, Art Silvano, spent the last 15 years of his police career in the Philadelphia Special Victims Unit, and he founded Battle for Children Charities.
Wow.
Our LLC, that is the entity behind the bands to create awareness and to raise funds for the various advocacy agencies. Because the problem is there's enough advocacy agencies, but a lot of them are understaffed, and
Sure.
there isn't enough money that once you rescue a victim, that you could immediately put them into rehabilitation. See, the problem is timing.
Yeah.
The sooner you get them into rehabilitation, the more chance of them living a relatively normal life after the trauma.
Right.
And so that's why we're there to, like, for instance, our benefactor last year from St. Christopher's Children's Hospital, they asked for us to donate some teaching materials. So there's a picture of us somewhere on Facebook where we took the money from the battle and we bought the teaching materials and went and presented it to them.
Nice.
Coloring books and whatever they need for some of the younger victims.
I'd heard of the Battle of the Bands. I didn't know that was behind it.
Yeah, and
yeah.
well, now you get to meet. I'm the vice president of the organization, which Art was kind enough to make me that. I basically, before becoming vice president, I'm the guy that got them all the bands because I run a coffee house in Northeast Philly called Sold Out.
Right? I've
And
heard
we're
of
going to
it.
have our 18th anniversary in
18th
October.
anniversary.
Rich.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
We're off for the summer because we don't have HVAC, and so we go from October.
That's a
through
good
June.
reason. Yeah.
And also it gives everybody, our staff and our kitchen help, it gives them all a break because we actually have waitress staff and we also have 2 real chefs that in the kitchen whipping out snacks and stuff.
Cool.
And we have flying guitar picks just like
Yeah,
that.
just
That
trying to
happens.
subtly like get these out. I realized I hadn't get them out before the show,
Exactly.
so
That's
we need them
okay.
at some point.
We got plenty of time, and as soon as Ruben gives me back my playlist, I will play some songs in the box.
There we go.
I don't know where he's still sitting back there or he left the room or not.
He's wandering.
He might have been
searching,
wandering
looking.
about in the building. So I'm going to try and banter. So while we're waiting, why don't we open up in a word of prayer? And this way, if anybody is sitting on the fence and thinking of joining us, or maybe just randomly looking through music, as often people do, that they might stop here for a couple hours. All right, so let's pray. Father God, we thank you that you chosen to use these particular broken vessels today to be your instruments for your praise and your glory. We love you, Father, and we're glad to do this. It's a privilege to do this every time we're on the air. Regardless of the name of the program, our goal is the same, that if one person, just one, receives Jesus as Lord and Savior, then we know that we did a good work. We did something that you want us to do. We preach the gospel to every creature that happened to be tuning in, as the Great Commission tells us to do. So we're thankful that you're deciding to use these voices today to do that. We're grateful for you, and we praise your name for that. So just keep us kind of focused, even though we're going to have a good time, Lord. We're going to show people that you don't have to be boring to be a Christian, that actually you'll have a more abundant life and a more fun life once you do receive Christ. So we're hoping that if they leave here today, that they leave with that new salvation, or if they already know your Son as their Savior, that they're just blessed and they have a smile on their face and get a good laugh out of what we're going to do today. And we ask all these things in Jesus' precious name, and all God's people said, Amen. Well, normally we start with 3 songs in the box, but since my engineer is not in his position and I don't have my playlist, so even if I did have my playlist and call the songs out, there'd be nobody to push the button. So you'd have...
I could sing them all.
Rich could sing them all, or you'd have 8 minutes of dead air.
Hey, you know what, though? I mean, this last Saturday,
Yes.
the Art Sylvania Spirit Tour was
Yes.
out at the at Boardwalk
Not
Chapel.
last night, but a week ago.
No, last Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess yesterday would be last Saturday, but last Saturday.
Yes.
So, and we got to go out and do that, and also Hard North got to play. And everybody just had a really great night. And John
Yes.
is quite the crooner.
Oh, give me a break.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the
yeah.
backup
He
singer. I'm the
was-
backup vocalist.
He,
But
he
I'm
was
having
like,
a good time, is all I can say.
he's like the new Velvet Fog.
I wish I was Mel Torme. See, I gave you Rube Goldberg before.
Well, and then
Mel
you gave me, and then I
Torme.
gave you Mel Torme. Well,
Mel Torme.
I heard, was it the Night Court they had on the an old thing, and he referred to him as the Velvet Fog.
Yeah.
Fog.
So,
That's
but
the
it was a
kind of-
good night, and yeah, we were throwing it down. It was good stuff.
Well, it was a good night. It wasn't too humid, and the breeze, the onshore breeze was blowing, and it was great. So I'm hoping that if Matt and Vintage Heart have never done Boardwalk Chapel, have you done Boardwalk Chapel at all?
We haven't. Bill
gotta get
Dempsey.
down there.
Yes.
I've got 2 or 3 emails from Bill Dempsey since I saw him last, and we talked. I played over at the Community Music Festival. I think it's called South Jersey Community Music Festival. It was up.
Yes.
It was in Morristown, not that far
Yeah.
from here. Anyway, Bill was the one who I met at the Kindred Music Awards, and caught up with him there, and he said, "Hey, the Appletons are doing this cool thing up at their church up in New Jersey," and so I went and played there, and it was great. So, so we in the midst of things, Bill and I also talked about some potential other gig and ministry opportunities up this way. Which is cool. I mean, it's a bit of a hike, so there's still in my inbox. I need to get some time to actually look through and respond. But I've heard of it. So.
Wildwood is from Northeast Philly. Would it take us about 2 hours to get there?
yeah, it was like 2 hours.
So I don't know if you're coming down that side of the state. There's a highway that cuts through.
Uh,
The good
But
thing
if you
about
talk to them ahead of time, they can actually they may be able to give you places to stay.
I know-
oh, sure.
So that's
and they have rooms there, so you could actually stay there. And let me tell you, it's perfect because they got Angelo's Pizza right next door. So the whole time you're singing, you smell the fresh dough, and they've got every other food imaginable.
Sure.
Even a '50s diner that Rich and I ate.
Yeah, we ate
called
the 50s diner.
The Doo-Wop Diner.
And there's a giant ball that people climb in and run around in, which is amazing out on the beach, which is just something I would never do ever. But it is fun to watch. I won't lie. So
So we now have our playlist.
yay!
Yay! So before we have Matt do his first selection today, Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, that's
we didn't. We
okay.
thought you forgot all about us because you left us alone.
Grace.
And I said I
Grace,
can't reach
my
the
friend.
buttons from here to engineer and do this. But anyway, we'll play these 3 songs in a box, and then that'll give Matt plenty of time to get his picks out and get ready to go. He's ready to rock over here, and then we're going to come back in and see what Matt has versus his first selection. So we're going to start up with a song that goes along with what I was saying. We want you all to rise up and have a good time today. My good buddy Eddie Mann off of the Dig Love CD. Second song is my equally good buddy Des Childs from South Philly, who has a song called "Got a Hold on Me," which I absolutely love. Because let me tell you, if you don't know Jesus, He wants to have a hold on you. He wants to really give you an abundant life that you don't have right now, and you'll hopefully know all about that before you leave here today. And last but not least, our third song will be "Troubled Times" by the group Regenerated Soul. And we could not book people like Matt Wheeler if it wasn't for the leader of that band, Anna Laverne, who's our associate producer and coordinator here at Sold Out as well as at SWAT. So let's get started. We'll Rise Up with Eddie Mann, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with our guest, Matt Wheeler.
Just to find myself late, I'm definitely maybe gonna hurry and wait. Even when the world appears to be on my side, somehow all the honesty will only be denied. I'm feeling a darker shade of blue, but with your help I can see this through and rise up. For today is the day I'll rise up and walk the narrow way. I'll rise up and know what to say. I'll rise up and make a difference today. I went to bed so I could lie awake. I'm the definition of the perfect mistake. Even when I take the time to try my best, somehow I always find a way to fail the test. I'm feeling a darker shade of blue, but with your help I can see this through and rise up. For today is the day I'll rise up and walk the narrow way. I'll rise up and know what to say. I'll rise up and make a difference today. I wander on my own. 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 Rise up. 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 For today is the day I'll rise up and walk the narrow way. I'll rise up and know what to say. I'll rise up and make a difference today. Rise up. Rise up. I'll make a difference today. Rise up. Rise up. I won't get in my way.
God, what do I do when the world has taken, it's taken it all? Do you hear my voice? Do you hear my call? 'Cause there's nothing left to lose. Oh God, I need your love. God, what do I do when the world has taken, it's taken it all? Do you hear my voice? Do you hear my call? I'm calling
yeah. I love this song. And it never gets old. I'm serious. I listen
can
to it
hear
all
it
the
all
time.
night.
I like to walk and listen to the album.
I don't
It's
never
good
get
stuff.
tired of it. That was Regenerated Souls, Troubled Times.
Absolutely.
Our good buddy Anna Lovern. You have to govern with Lovern. That's how I know how to pronounce her name.
There you
It's
go.
not Laverne or Lovern. It's Lovern. Okay?
Wow.
And we're glad that she was able to
Ideal.
book our guest today. Mr. Matt Wheeler is in the house. all
Hi,
the way
Matt.
from the Lancaster area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Lancaster, as we say there.
Right.
Yeah, Lancaster.
He has the beard, but he did leave the straw hat in the car. So, so he might be one.
My running joke when I travel, when I introduce myself is, my name is Matt Wheeler. I'm from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And to answer the question you have in your mind, no, I'm not Amish.
No, he's definitely not.
It's
Amish.
like,
But I did park my buggy
I
outside.
did park the buggy out in the back, grazing in the field.
we're using electricity. I'm good with it.
Well, my wife and mother-in-law are both from Lancaster.
Are they really? I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
her father actually was a doctor who used to do house calls.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's old
this is-
school.
That's what I'm saying. This is the real deal. So.
That's great. That's great. Did he also make like shoe fly pie and all that fun stuff? Or?
Hey, don't bother me.
Yeah, but I love. That was my favorite thing when I go out. I have to come home with a shoe fly pie.
Sure. Yeah. It's like, like you have to get a cheesesteak when you go to Philadelphia.
That's right.
It's
That's-
like,
But
yeah.
I have a weird place to get them from. A lot of people, there's like this bakery that's got the windmill in the front and everything, and everybody goes
Uh-huh.
to. It's
I know what you're talking about.
It's not that good. I get my shoe fly pie, believe it or not, from the gift shop at the Strasburg Railroad. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
I believe
where
it.
they get it from, but that is the best tasting shoe fly pie.
It's
I've
probably
ever had.
homemade from somewhere in
It's
the area.
awesome.
Yeah.
But none of the other places carry that brand, and it doesn't even have a brand name; it just has an ingredient panel on it, so I know it's homemade.
Oh, yeah.
But man, is it good!
Yeah.
What
Oh,
you have to do is go down there to the farmers markets,
Yeah.
and they make those whoopie pies that are like a foot thick.
Oh, those I like too.
So
Yeah.
how do you balance those things?
I don't know. It's like heart attack in a package kind of deal.
I usually go with smaller ones than that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's one way. But
I like the big ones though. Bigger is better, right? Anyway, Matt, what song do you want to kick us off with today?
I think the first one we're gonna play is called "Your Vintage Heart."
Yay.
We were talking about that. I know you said you've been playing it. So
we have.
yeah, it's also the name of my band came from it as well. The first band I was ever in, which I was kind of late coming to it. Like I think I was around 30 or so when I first started with a band. I was with a band, like I sort of accidentally joined a house band for this event, this church coffee house actually, so you can identify with that. Ended up becoming like part of the house band and like de facto organizers and other things. But we were briefly called Matt and the Two Old Guys, and then we had someone else who was going to like that. That was what one of the old guys put in the program. And I was like, really? And then we had a headlining artist who talked to us after and was like interested in joining the band, and he's like, so we're like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, we're gonna need a name though. So we ended up going with we kicked around some ideas. We ended up going with August to October, which is named after a different one of my songs. But then I started playing out solo, but I would show up at places with like 2 or 3 other people playing along as well. And the one place we were playing, like on their little sign out front, they put Matt Wheeler and Friends. And I was like, yeah, we're going to need a name if we're going to keep doing this sort of thing. And so I put it to an online vote, and I had a bunch of ideas. I know the Southern Ocean was one, because geography is kind of my thing, and that and classic lit. But, and then like Mercury Spring. But then I also put... Matt Wheeler and Vintage Heart was one of them. I figured I'd be playing solo-ish sometimes, so I'd put my name on the front. And it was named after one of my songs, that song idea. And there's also Matt Wheeler and the Spokes, and actually those 2 options got the 2 most votes.
I like the Spokes actually. I do
Yeah,
like the Spokes.
looking back, it could have been fun, but at the time I was like, yeah, it'd be hard to take seriously. So, although if we ever do a thing like when U2 opened for themselves and like put on wigs and act like they were country bands on their Joshua Tree tour, if we ever do something like that and like disguise ourselves like as a punk band opening for ourselves or something, we should be the Spokes.
The Spokes.
As a little subtle nod to my last name, but no. Anyway, so the song itself is about like just loving someone who it's like their heart's older than they are because they're so weighed down with worries and life's just tough on them in that season. And it's the same idea as like having like an old soul, except for I just state it a little differently, a little more poetically, I guess. So yeah, that's how the band name came about, and then also what the song is supposed to be about as well. So.
Okay, well, Ruben will make sure your guitar is on. We're going to get going here. And you're listening to Matt Wheeler here on the Sold Out program.
All right, here we go. Under a sky painted red, clouds of white, you glide through the wheat and heather. It's good to be alive, but you feel so much older beside the trees and leaves burned by the seasons and the sun. Don't you see there's beauty in the broken? Insecure in all your moving parts. I'm tangled up in all your strings and wires. Tell me, is there room for me in your vintage heart? Is there room for me in your vintage heart? Oh, my love, you just need some time to mend, assemble the fragments of your thoughts. Take a bite of air and remember that our Maker knows that we are dust and it's okay to fall apart. Don't you see there's beauty in the broken? Insecure in all your moving parts. I'm tangled up in all your strings and wires. Tell me, is there room for me in your vintage heart? Is there room for me in your vintage heart? Sometimes you close up all the windows and shut all the doors, keeping the world from your lights and graces. Put away your armor, won't you see the beauty that's within? Just let me embrace you. Store up all your secrets in your little hidden book, and you guard them all so secretly. Open up your vintage heart, let me understand you. However poor and darkly, love, let me try and love. Don't you see there's beauty in the broken? Insecure in all your moving parts. I'm tangled up in all your strings and wires. Tell me, is there room for me in your vintage heart? Don't you see there's beauty in the broken? Insecure in all your moving parts. I'm tangled up in all your strings and wires. Tell me, is there room for me in your vintage heart? Sing it, John. Is there room for me in your vintage heart? One more time. Is there room for me in your vintage heart? Nice work, sir.
Very nice.
Unexpected backing vocals. I'm all for it.
Well, you know, now you know at least I do know the music.
Yeah, clearly you weren't just bluffing. You actually listened to the
Some
song.
CDs, you know, it doesn't. In fact, even though I play that song a lot, there's I didn't every song on that particular CD is really good, and so you're going to hear
Thank
a
you.
bunch of them today, and hopefully some stuff that's not on that CD, since we don't have anything
Yeah.
else to play for you except for that CD right now. So, but anyway,
I have other CDs I could give
I know,
you if you want.
because we want to promote you. We really like your stuff, and
Thank you.
I
You have a very nice guitar too. I just want to say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, thank you.
Very
I-
nice sound.
It's,
I'd love to hear Rich do some leads over you sometime. Maybe next time we come down, we'll have Rich bring his.
if you got one around, I mean, let's do it. I mean,
do some leads
Well,
over you.
The now I have to ask this because you are a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
How many guitars do you own?
I'm not a huge gear guy. I tend to get gear that I really like, and I just, it becomes my workhorse stuff.
Okay.
And let me think. So I have some of my oldest ones that I had. I've given away over the years. Currently I have this one. This is a Martin 000 from the RX series, I got it like 2014 or something
Wonderful
like that. And
sound. Wonderful sound.
Well, I got brand new Martin Lifespan custom strings on it
Oh!
that I
I
bought
haven't
at.
tried those yet.
It's a custom, so they're a little bit lighter than the light ones, but not like by a lot. So I just put them on yesterday, and I got them at an event where Chris Martin IV was speaking. It was the second time in the last few months I've met him.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm really digressing off of what we originally were
That's
talking
okay.
about.
I like gear talk.
To answer your question, let me see. So I've got this one. I have a Fender Stratocaster, which
Okay.
I rarely break out. Mostly if it's like youth events. Although I played it at church this past week ago today. Let me think. And then I've also got my Ovation that was given by my father-in-law after I ran over my Epiphone Hummingbird with my car.
No.
That was a sad day. It was a roller coaster of a day because, like, I was rushing to get to this market where I was playing, and as I got close to the car, I saw that our dog had gotten out of the yard. So I put everything down right there on the sidewalk and got him back in the yard and like duct taped the gate together until I got back, and then hurried out to my car and pulled out, and I heard this awful crunching. I was like, did I hit a railroad tie? Because we don't have, like, we have those on either side, but I was like, no, oh no. And I realized what I did, and I was like weeping in the driveway and still needing to get to my gig. So I used this Washburn that I had, which was a pretty decent guitar. The first like decent guitar I'd had. I've given it away since, but so I went and played it, feeling kind of down about what had happened. And then my wife and brother-in-law and my son, who was very young at the time, came to the market and had this guitar case. And it turns out my father-in-law he had injured his shoulder. He mostly plays ukulele anyway. He's a kid's musician.
Yeah.
Fred, you may or may not have heard of. And he said, give it to me for an early birthday present. And so that Ovation was, it was like, it was a really roller coaster of a day. Like I said, it was like, oh no, this was like so boneheaded and just, I can't believe I did this, to like, wow, I got this really great new guitar.
That's cool.
In the same day. So yeah, I guess the answer to your question would be three. Yeah, I mean, no, 4. I'm sorry, because I do have a Yamaha Classical I got. I basically keep it around upstairs just to practice and,
Gotcha.
woodshed ideas. It's not a super high quality one, but it's something different. So 4. I mean,
That's cool.
I've
That's-
owned more over time, but I've got ukulele as well that I got from my wife's family. The same father-in-law who gave me.
And Rich is just up to number 71 now.
No, that's not true. Actually, if my wife is listening, she's going to tell me when she gets home. It says C. Because I looked this up, because I am one of those people when I see,
Right.
it's just, and I read this and it said the average musician owns 7 guitars.
Yeah, I guess I'd bring that average down.
Yeah.
So-
No, because I do too. Because I have acoustic, I have 2 electrics, and a bass.
Yeah.
So now I have 2 acoustics. I have one for camp. So that one I beat the snot out
That's
of.
it,
But
yeah,
it's
but the
but it
Takamine
still
does
keeps
go to
going.
camp. No.
No, the Takamine
The
does not go to
Takamine.
camp.
Yeah,
But
sure.
But yeah, but that's good. See, but that also shows you are a humble man.
Well,
I can tell you that. Right?
Well, thanks.
Because the amount of instruments you play connects directly to your personality and character.
huh. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it that way. It's like, I mean, like, I got a catalog from Sweetwater the other day, which I love the company, great customer service and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
But they send you this massive catalog.
Yeah, it's like a mile thick.
Like a few times a year, and there have been a few times I looked at it, but My wife told me that it came in the mail, and
Yeah, look.
Oh,
you have it.
Yes.
if anyone from the Sweetwater is listening, fantastic service. You want to
Yes.
send me anything,
And
please feel free.
Art of our group, the trio, Art definitely orders them.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time, so.
Well, and Sweetwater's based 10 minutes from the house where I grew up.
Are you
in
serious?
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Indiana.
So I go, like, I know a bunch of the people there. I've from going and visiting and playing their lunchtime series.
Are you
And-
serious? You got.
but- oh yeah, I've done it 3 times, I guess. But
That'd be great, Rich.
Yes.
but
I go.
But my point is, like they send this massive thing, and my wife is like, "Hey, you got this in the mail, and you want to look at it?" I'm like, "No, you can just put it right in the recycling." I mean, like if there's something I want, I'll just I'll look it up on their website.
Yeah.
And it's probably where I'm going to buy it, if so, unless I'm going to get it somewhere local. But yeah. So anyway, my point is, I find gear that I like and I go with it. Like I own 3 pedals, I think. There's a distortion, a tuner, and a vintage overdrive.
You know,
Okay.
And like that's
What-
yeah.
What I like about the, I'm not trying to give
That's Ruben,
shameless
everybody.
promotion, but
Ruben, our producer.
I just want to say that reason why I like ordering from the company because it gives people a chance that can't afford like $3,000 up front or $2,000. You can pay it over time.
Yeah, that's true.
48 months.
And no
48
shipping.
months.
40 months. Yep.
Free shipping. I mean, it's
Yeah, who
like,
does that?
And their headquarters is like the Google of music.
Yeah.
They've got like an arcade, and they've got
Well,
a slide.
they
and,
also have unbelievable recording studios there.
Oh,
too,
yes.
which they'll let you
Yes,
use for
yeah.
not too much money as long as you promote them. You know?
yeah, I mean, I was going to do a recording session with them one time, and ended up falling through for numerous reasons. But yeah, I mean,
But-
when I tour to the Midwest, that's pretty much always one of the stops I make. So
Well, I basically am going to get involved with them again because I'm singing in the trio. I want to get a TC Helicon vocal processor.
Okay,
So-
yeah.
So I can
I'm sure it's something they have.
They just
have
had
it.
one on sale for $3.99 on
Right, but
Deal of the
that's
Day.
yeah, that's too much. Okay, that's basically it's a $199 unit if you look anywhere else.
Oh, well, maybe that wasn't the same thing.
So that's
Well,
why.
I mean, just borrow the catalog from Ruben. and
So that's why. No, but I'm saying that I'm giving them a second chance if they're listening. In that, if you want to be plugged on my show, we can work something out. But you guys, they used to be one of the most expensive companies out there. That's why I started dealing with Musician Friend.
okay.
But then they started being middle ground, and then the guy that I think is still the owner, who was
Chuck
the
Sirac.
founder, he finally got it that, hey, we got to really help out the struggling musicians. Or else they're going to take the 12 payments, no interest from Sam Ash every time.
Yeah.
In fact, Sam Ash is up to 24 payments, no interest now.
Yeah, but
Wow.
but if you're
So-
patient, they have 0% interest for 48 months.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That is the greatest thing ever.
That's why I want to let them know here and now, live on air, that I'm going to give them a chance to take my business away from American Music. AMS is the other place I use.
Yeah.
AMS.
They used to be in Jersey. That's why I was loyal to them. They used to be called
Sure.
Victor's House of Music back in
Okay.
the day up in Ridgewood, New Jersey, where Dave Pettigrew comes from.
Oh,
So I used
okay,
to-
yeah.
So I used to deal with them.
okay.
But I really want to see if we can keep it under the Sweetwater umbrella, especially since they help out our radio station as well with equipment.
Yeah, they do.
I feel
So
like
we'll be calling you guys.
I feel like they must have come onto my radar when they started to get to be more like, with the payments and musicians friendish.
Yes.
Speaking of free commercials, you have some freestyling. to do for us,
Hey,
Rich.
I do.
We should have done it at the top of the hour, but we fell a little bit behind. So
To
we'll
this-
do it right
to
now.
this down here.
And your hot little
All
hand.
right. It's fresh off the press. Hey, to all sold out listeners and viewers, please go to hamiltonradio.net and in the top menu, click on donations for nonprofit shows. Sold Out needs your help of donations for our program here at Hamilton Radio and our organization. You can help by going to Hamilton Radio and click on the PayPal button to donate your gift of $5, or click on the PayPal button that says give anything or more. Wow, more than anything. So
Or e-
please go to, no, I just,
Or even
it's,
if you only have $1.
that's it.
That's fine.
That's right. So you'd be like, $1, 5, 10, 100,000,
times 4 million
10,000,
listeners.
100,000.
That's 4 million
You know,
listeners. It's $4 million.
That is a very, very, that was a pretty quick addition too.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed. So please go to donations for nonprofit shows and donate your gift of $5 or more. This will be greatly appreciated and will help this program to continue its show here at Hamilton Radio. Well, here, let me lay it plain and simple. We work for a place that needs money. This is how businesses work. So when we come and we ask for donations, it's not for us.
No,
It
don't
is.
get it.
It is for our ministry. You know, this is why we're here. We're here to share music for musicians like Matt, and to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if you believe in this, you know, feel free to donate. You know,
And
you're
Rich,
not-
I'd like to add to that.
yes.
Also, when you purchase from our website, the company knows that you're buying from us and are more inclined to help us out and promote with us more.
Oh, there you go.
well.
See, so you
It's a
help
win-win.
everyone. It is win-win.
Win-win
Win-win.
situation.
You
Yep.
see, that's great. Ruben, I've like heard you all day. I never hear you, and you're like talking all that. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruben.
Ruben Rodriguez.
The quiet
He was the only
storm.
other DJ besides Gino at one time.
That's I want to hear you talk like this. Hey, what's that? All right. Anyway. Oh yeah.
Not his style, but
Everybody
So-
out there in Radio Land.
There it is. Your donation will help our cause for spreading the gospel. And we want to thank you for tuning in, and God bless you all. So,
Okay.
yeah, I really do. I really feel passionate about this because, you know, before John asked me to do this, I'd watched him and Art do their show, or listened. And then he asked me to do it, and I thought, oh, okay. But being here, I get to meet people like Matt, and you know, being a musician is one thing, but being able to be blessed by other people's music is something that, you know, you have to let happen too. Like, you just don't go in and say, hey, I really like your stuff, and because there's you know, being a musician, I have to humble myself down for all of them, because you know we're all, you know,
yeah.
sinful. And but again, I appreciate your music, man. It's very enjoyable, and
you.
you know, so
It's better in person than on the CD.
it is. My goodness gracious!
And there's nothing wrong with the CD.
Okay, there you go. Well, I don't have I don't. Do I have it? I do have a CD player, but it's like everything's gone like
Electronic
cloud
now.
to me.
On Spotify. And,
Yeah. Are you on
Amazon stuff.
Spotify?
Oh, yeah.
All right, there I am. I'm listening
you
to it on
have
the way
no
home.
excuse. You could earn like, you know, like 1/10 of a cent for me.
I'm gonna say, man, you're gonna
appreciate
jack up
it.
to about 5 cents. I'm telling you, I'm not
A
kidding.
whole nickel.
I'm not kidding. I'm gonna put you on random, and it's just gonna be. I'm
Just like
gonna
let it scroll the time.
Yeah.
At least 30 seconds for each play for sure. You have to for it to
Well,
count.
there it is.
What song are you gonna do for us next? And then we're gonna just to give our listeners what's coming up. After we do that, we're gonna. I think Ruben has a commercial that he's working on that they're gonna queue up, and we're gonna put that on next. It's for the veterans, and I'm dedicating anything we do for that organization to the memory of my dad, who passed away in 2014, Sergeant Jesse J. Akunzo of the United States Army Air Force World War II in Guam. And I love my dad, and that's why I became a son of the American Legion and joined the American Legion's organization, the local post to my house in memory of my dad. And so whenever somebody like Anna, our producer, gives me a commercial related to the vets that we could help, I'm going to put it on the show.
Cool.
Anyway, so Matt, what do you have for us next?
I think I'll play another one from the Strings and Wires album.
Cool.
Although if you have anything specific you want to hear, like I didn't make a set list. I figure I'll just play
No,
whatever
whatever
comes
you
to
want.
mind. Yeah, this is one called Arrows.
I
It's
like that song.
yeah, it's based off the a passage from John, the Gospel of John, chapter 8, where basically the Pharisees stage this trap for Jesus. They catch this woman in adultery, they bring her before Jesus, and he's like teaching a crowd, and they just run up on him and say, "Hey, she was caught in adultery. You know, the law says we should stone someone like this. What do you say we do?" And like the trap is like this: like they figure if he says, "Yeah, you're right, go ahead and stone her." The problem is like Roman authorities, like that wasn't okay. Like the Jewish culture didn't have the right to do that. So then he's in trouble with Rome. Or he says, you know, don't worry about it. I mean, you know, everyone makes mistakes, and just like lets it go, and then he loses his moral authority as a teacher. So Jesus does like something totally off the map. He decides to like bend down and start writing in the sand. Like probably threw the Pharisees off their game a good bit, and so he rises and says, you know, whoever's that sin cast the first stone. And you know, the Pharisees like knew their trap wasn't working at that point, and were probably feeling convicted, and just just one by one went away, and until you know Jesus is there, the woman's still there, and Jesus says, "Where are your accusers?" And she says, "Nowhere to be found." And he says, "I don't accuse you either. Go and sin no more." It's like Like, you couldn't have handled it any better than that. Truly wise. But there's also the fact that like the song is from the point of view of the woman. She probably thought that it was going to end very, very badly. You know, besides humiliation, there's a possibility of her being stoned to death. So, so this is coming from her perspective. You know, like after experiencing that radical forgiveness. Although I mixed some other stories, a little bit of like Thomas in here as well. So a little poetic license. But this is called Arrows.
Okay, you're listening to Matt Wheeler live on the Sold Out program, HamiltonRadio.net.
Also, it's not Dust in the Wind.
Thanks for clarifying that. I was going to do the backup vocals for that. You know.
Close my eyes. No, for real. Here, for real, here's Arrows. You caught me speechless and silent with fear. They accuse me, maybe they're right about the burden I bear. You say nothing, just words etched into sand. Grace stooped down and offered me a hand. And these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I bear, I've got no right to feel this healing I feel. And these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I've dealt, forgive me, speak the words that my heart needs to hear. Can I believe you? You proved yourself time and again. There are times when I need to feel your wounds with my own hands. Those words etched into sand. You offer me your hand. And these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I bear, I've got no right to feel this healing I feel. And these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I've dealt, forgive me, speak the words that my heart needs to hear. Oh, these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I bear, I've got no right to feel this healing I feel. And these arrows, the wounds and the bruises I've dealt, forgive me, speak the words that my heart needs to hear. Hey, you guys.
That was Matt Wheeler right here live on the Sold Out program. And it's kind of appropriate. A lot of the veterans have suffered a lot of slings and arrows.
Oh, yeah.
And are still doing it this day. We have homeless veterans families now that we're going to be doing a benefit for veterans that are young or have young families. They're homeless. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. You put your life on the line for the country, and then you come home and the country doesn't support you at all.
Right. Yeah. That's not right, obviously.
To me, it's almost worse now than it was during the Vietnam era. Yeah. But anyway, Ruben, if you're ready, if you'll play that 1 minute spot for me, that'd be awesome. And we'll talk to you a little bit about it when we come back on the flip side. You ready, buddy? You ready with that spot? Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Live radio. I know he was busy playing
He was on
Pac-Man
delay.
on the other computer.
I've
but
got Pac-Man fever.
he almost reached the 10,000 point range for the first round. So anyway, God.
I know you're busy taking care of your family, and it's hard to hear about families who have it tough, especially on Father's Day weekend. But you know, the freedom and liberty we have here in America comes at a price. Some people get killed for it. Think of your family. Now imagine your brother or your son, your sister or your mother was killed protecting our country. Imagine it was your father or your daughter. I'm the executive director of the Gold Star Ride Foundation, and the Gold Star Ride Foundation does nothing except pay honor and tribute to these families. And we help them pay for education. We make sure they're not forgotten. We know our federal government has already forgotten them. Now, if you help us, we'll help you. Go now to goldstarride.org and make a donation. Our generous benefactor will double it and give you the credit. goldstarride.org. We're an official 501c3, so your contribution is also completely tax deductible. You help us, we'll help them and you. And we'll look for you when we ride through North Carolina July 17th. goldstarride.org. We're all in this together.
We are, ladies and gentlemen. We're all in this together. Because if we weren't out for the men and women that are on duty right now, all over the world, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Right.
We'd be sitting with a flak jacket on and helmet in a first aid shelter somewhere, eating meals ready to eat and freeze-dried stuff. But because they're out there every day, every hour of every day, as my dad was when he was on watch, when he arrived on Guam, by the way, everybody thinks that Guam is a nice little island now, like a Hawaii kind of thing. But let me tell you, when my dad arrived on Guam, it wasn't secured yet. So it was on all four sides was under attack. And they secured it, put the air base there that loaded up all the B-29s. And then my dad was one of the staff sergeants in charge of the armament crew that they would, as an empty plane came in, they would fill it with armament and send it back out. So very important job, and he was there when it was not secured, so it was kind of dangerous when he got there. But he lived a long life. He died at 88 years old, and my mom he followed my mom in death by 27 days.
Wow.
They were together since they were about 6 years old.
Oh wow.
So once Dad started to have he was having dementia issues. So we couldn't actually bring him to Mom's funeral, but once he realized that she was gone, that was it. Dad kind of kicked out after that.
Wow, yeah.
So I missed him a lot, and especially on Father's Day weekend, which we just had last weekend. If our show was last weekend, by the way, the radio ad would have been more timely.
Right. Well,
but we
that's
give everybody here a break on Father's Day.
Yes, we did, and as well as
Including
us.
Rich.
Yeah, it was.
Was a dad.
Yeah, I was a dad. I am a dad.
You got something else to say, buddy?
I don't know. I just think that's a great cause. I've through my life and experience, I actually know a lot of Vietnam vets.
Right.
And I'm a person that likes to just ask a lot of questions, and about coming back, and it's really, you hear the way when they used to come back and just how much hate that was thrown toward them who went to serve our country.
That's right.
And I think we're getting close to that now too. I think there's lots of things going on right now.
Too much stuff.
But there's just never any reason or excuse to have this happen on our watch. No,
and that's why we hope our show is a kind of a break from all the other crap that's on radio and on television right now, and that we could see what really matters, and that's the fact that Jesus died for each of you.
That's right.
That He loves you, that He wants you to come and have an abundant life, not a life of denial and losing stuff. The stuff you got to give up in Christianity, you're going to gain so much more. Trust me, I don't miss any of the stuff I gave up. And I still go to see shows and run sound for bands. Last night I was at a show. I support secular artists that are family friendly. We had a family-friendly show called Bandapalooza last night with 4 bands in a ballroom of a hotel where one band was in each corner, and each band would do a set. But then at the end, they were doing rapid fire where they would throw randomly the other band, so they don't know whether they're up next or not. So everybody's ready, and we had a blast. And a lot of the bands that were playing have Christian people, born-again Christian people that are in the band. My friend Doug and his wife Donna are in the band Renegade. And they're just great people. I mean, Doug is a born again believer. In fact, Doug still has a CD that he did some years back, where we're going to actually be one of the only radio stations playing that.
Oh, cool.
So he's going to play it. So you're going to get to hear music from Doug Walters here on our show.
Nice.
And hopefully Doug's going to come in and come in and hang out and play some guitar with us, because he's a monster guitar player. So, but you have a lot of fun with Christ. You have a lot of fun. It's not like you're giving anything up. Because he said in Scripture, I came that you might have life and have it boring. No, I came you might have life and have it, just horribly. No, he says I came that you might have life and have it abundantly.
Yeah.
So my life is actually better now, and your life could be too. So if you don't know him, or if you've been sitting on the fence, time to jump on the other side. The grass is freshly mowed, and we're ready to receive you.
What is it they say? The one who dies with most toys still dies.
That's right.
And as far as I know, we still can't take it with us.
No.
So I think, when you spend your time surrounding yourself with things, or surrounding yourself with any ideas or whatever that helps to make you feel good for the moment, that all passes. But Christ is eternal. And, one of the promises I hold on to, and this is something that you can build your life on, God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is unchanging. So we may not understand things when they happen, because, things that we perceive as bad, they happen. But in God's big picture, all things work together for his glory.
Right.
So, I actually find comfort in this, because, we just today at church, we just had a family who lost their daughter of 20 years old. And, what do you say? And I even said to them, I says, I don't have any words. And he says, there are no words. He says, what can you say to that? Nothing. We lift them up, we pray for them, and we, hope that they're comforted. But they will be comforted.
Yeah, they will.
But still, it doesn't have to make sense,
No.
So.
But as long as you hold on to, as Richard
Right.
was saying, Romans 8:28 is the verse if you want to look it up, and 29. All things, and I read the New American Standard because the other versions leave out one key word that I think makes even more of a difference with the verse. In the New American Standard Version, in ASB, it says, all things are caused to work together for good to those that love God and are called according to his purpose. The word caused, that means God causes the stuff to work the way it does, even though you don't understand it. Because in the end, it's going to be worked together for your good.
Right.
Even though you can't see it right now, because we don't have the mind of God. We can't think the way he thinks. We won't have that perfect mind until you've received him as your Lord and you get to go to heaven. And then you'll probably, we'll have V8 moments. Ah, I get it now. Because then you'll finally have the mind of Christ. You won't have that mind till you get there. So it's just a matter of trust and a matter of faith. Not to plug the Billy Joel song, Matter of Trust, one of my favorite songs. But it's a matter of trust. It's to trust him.
Yes.
And he's not going to let you down. Trust me, I've been through a lot. And I'm still here. I could have died in 1998. I had 24 more hours left to live, but God allowed me to get insurance through one of my friends who has a band, Christian band called Oracle. My friend Mark Kaplan was able to get me health insurance, and I was able to get to the hospital. And they found that I had about 24 hours left to live because I had a perforation in my colon area. And I had pyorrhea set in. And we thought and it was at the same time I had some eye surgeries done on my eyes. So we thought it was some unusual complication for the eye surgeries. So they were looking for everything from the neck up. But it wasn't until I said, look, I'm also predisposed to issues down below in the stomach area. Would you please just look there? I mean, so I kind of knew something was up, and that whatever I was going through couldn't be related to the eye surgery. And I'm not even a doctor, but I kind of knew that. So finally they back then in 1998, it's a little different now, where patients didn't know anything as far as they were concerned. They knew everything. They're the doctors. We know everything. They kind of have to listen now because a lot of laws and a lot of malpractices now that wouldn't have been allowed back in 1998. Right. So I had to crawl to in the private room. If you've ever been in the hospital, there's everybody gets their own bathroom. So I crawled on my stomach to the bathroom. Felt like I was in a war. And they had that string, so in case you have a problem in the bathroom, you could call the nurse from there. Yeah. I just reached up and ripped the string out of the wall. And they finally, this little tiny nurse come in and tried to get me back in bed, and I grabbed onto the bottom of the pipe on the sink, the little round elbow.
Yeah.
And I grabbed with all my might. I said, I am not moving until you find me a gastroenterologist and get him in this room right now. I'm not moving. You call security, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not moving. And lo and behold, after all the other nurses were turned as white as their uniform, back then they didn't have colored scrubs either, as much as they do now.
Right.
They finally called the resident from the dormitory, because it's a teaching hospital. The gastroenterology resident. He comes down, the hair's like sticking straight up, and he's yawning, and he's like, he's got his bedroom slippers, and he's shuffling around. Give him a CAT scan. After the CAT scan was done, they were really, really quiet. They didn't say a whole heck of a lot.
Right.
And they immediately gave me the pain medication that they wouldn't give me earlier that I begged for.
Right.
And the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, the door comes open, and in comes all these guys in white lab coats with laptop computers. That was the students with the director of surgery for the whole college.
Huh.
And he explained to me what was going on. He said, we have to operate now. Well, can I make a call? Or no, you don't understand. We have to operate now.
This moment, yeah.
Oh, I get it. And it's funny. The reason why I wasn't scared to death, Rich and Matt, is because a week before my friend James and I were praying for my eye surgeries. Once again, eye surgery not related to.
Yeah.
And God stopped him in the middle of prayer. And he's one of those staunch conservative guys. He doesn't get like a word of knowledge or any of these things for those of you who go to Assemblies of God or the charismatic churches. And he stopped. And I go, what's the matter, Jim? He goes, James. He goes, well, God keeps putting, I don't know why I keep getting this. I got to tell you, I don't know. It's got to be from God. What is it? He goes, he keeps telling me I'm going to be fixing more than your eyes. I don't know what that means. But I'm going to be fixing or repairing something more than your eyes. I have no idea what that means. But for what it's worth, he won't let me continue to prayer until I tell you because he keeps interrupting me. And so right when they said now came the flashback of James's prayer. And I knew I don't have to be afraid because he didn't say I'm going to be taking you out or something tragic's going to happen or your time is short. He said I'm going to be fixing something other than your eyes. So they gave me the living will, and here you go. Let's do it. And here I am sitting here to this day. That was back in 1998.
Yeah, 20 years later, I guess, right?
Yeah.
If my math's right.
And I'm on radio. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And I have a coffee house that's now going to be its 18th anniversary in October. So God had a plan.
Absolutely.
God had a reason.
Cool.
So, any case, before we hear more from Matt, I want to play some songs in the box because you had enough of me rambling on. So we want to get some other Christian artists here, and then we're going to hear some more from Matt coming up. But my good friend, who is also part of the Kindred Awards, who either sings or he's nominated, my friend Noé Feliz.
Yeah.
Awesome guy, but he has a song called The Favor of God, which kind of relates to what we were just talking about. And then the second song I'm going to do is by my other good friend, part of the Kindred Awards, but also just somebody that's had experience with the Edwin Hawkins singers and a lot of up-and-coming gospel, like Catrice Cornett, and a song called Count It Joy. The only song on her album that was co-written by her and her husband. All the other songs on her album were co-written by her and a member of an old group called The Fifth Dimension called Billy Davis Jr. But she wrote this one with her husband, and I like it because God showed me his favor so I could count what I just recounted to you, all joy, even though it was really painful what I went through, but God was with me the whole time. And finally, before we come back in with some more of Matt Live, we're going to have Shape Me by the Aaron Palermo Band, which is now known as Thriving Seas. One of the winners of the Battle of the Bands who took their grand prize and actually did the recording studio time that we gave them and got an EP and ended up opening for Mercy Me as a result of that EP. So that's why if we ask you to be in the Battle of the Bands, you're not even going to have a good time. You're not even going to help the kids, but you might get something that gets you to the next level, band-wise. And that goes for Matt and Vintage Heart. If Simple Tenants is not in it, I'm going to want their band definitely in the show this year. Anyway, so here we go. Favor of God, Count It Joy, and Shape Me right here on Sold Out Radio on HamiltonRadio.net.
It's really loud. You want it better? I'll just take it on.
Searching for your kingdom, searching for your righteousness.
Oh, that's perfect.
Really want to please you.
and he's been with me. He wanted to lock in the Christmas show every year. So
Yeah.
He comes to do the Christmas show every year. Yeah. That's pretty cool. This is pretty good.
In the midst of storms, things are going wrong. Take a break from all the strain. Know Jesus has a plan.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hello. And that was Shape Me by Thriving Seas, formerly known as the Aaron Palermo Band.
Aaron Palermo Band.
And hopefully one of these, they're a hard bunch to get. I know that Aaron and his brother own a plumbing, heating, and HVAC company. So this time of the year, they're very, very busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But man, would I love to get them, because, you know, you got ukulele, violin, mandolin, guitar, everything in that band. Yeah. You know, it's a great band. And so we're glad that they were part of our Battle of Christian Bands and got the winning prize. And that EP that song is on actually got a nice song, Mercy
too.
Me, right?
It's a nice song too.
It is. All their stuff's pretty cool. I'm really glad that we had them. So our guest today is Matt Wheeler, the I guess founder and front person and singer-songwriter, guitarist for the band Vintage Heart.
Vintage Heart.
And I love the sound of that band and love the name that they have. And really glad that he took the ride up on this hot and humid, nasty day.
That's right.
Actually sunny out, but it looks like we got a little cloud over. Looking out the window, it looks like the clouds might maybe cool it off a bit.
Well, there's a thunderstorm warning up by me.
Well, let's just hope that as he's going his way, he won't have to run into it. You know?
Agreed.
They're not fun, especially when you have the hailstones that come with it sometimes.
When I was driving up to, I was supposed to be playing a gig in Worcester, Massachusetts one day, Worcester, and it turned out I was going north of, I was like about to cross the Hudson River. It was like 91 degrees and sunny, and then like I had heard there was gonna be like tornadoes and storms, and it turned out that like I must have driven like right through like the edge of a tornado or something. It was nuts because like it got very dark and it was like 65 degrees all of a sudden, and like it was hailing at one point, and like trees, and in one case a sign was down in the middle of the road. It was not great. So yeah, like if it's anything short of that, then that would be great. It'd be clear sailing going back like it was getting here would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome.
So,
yeah, it will be.
So what do you have for us now there, Matt?
I think I'm gonna do a brand new one.
All right.
One I haven't even recorded on
There you
any
go.
of the projects yet, so you won't find it online yet. But yeah, so this one's called Harbor. It's honestly, I think it's kind of Josh Garrels-ish, Need to Breathe-ish as far as like the general idea of the sound and where I'm going with it. So,
Okay, listen to Matt Wheeler here on Sold Out.
I'm gonna double check the tune.
Oh,
here
we
real
have the
quick here.
Chinese tuning song.
Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
Sure, cape was all right.
Thank God for snarks.
My dog
There we go.
has fleas.
Just making sure we're.
There we go.
I think we're good now. All right, this is
All
called
right.
Harbor. Brother and my sister, my neighbor and my friend, like lilies and sparrows with no need to pretend. The Father above looks down with love on every child he has made. So who are we to disagree, to bend down and to break? And to break, I will be your harbor. You can be my refuge. With grace and love from our God above, you can lean on me, and I will lean on you. We are brushstrokes on his canvas, colorful and bright. We are soldiers fighting battles, raging on inside. Least of these is like you and me, the rich and poor alike. So who are we to disagree? Let mercy be our lights, be our lights. I will be your harbor. You can be my refuge. With grace and love from our God above, you can lean on me, and I will lean on you. I will be your harbor. You can be my refuge. The grace and love from our God above. You can lean on me, and I will lean on you. Lean on me, and I will lean on you.
That's Matt Wheeler live on the Sold Out program. That's a great one, man.
Thank you.
We're glad that we got to debut that here before anybody else really gets their grubby paws on it.
Yeah, I haven't played it publicly too many times, so yeah, happy to break it out. It seemed appropriate. So
that's great. Well, we're glad you did that. I'm trying to desperately look for something here that I want to announce about something that's coming up in August, Richard, Matt, not in your area, at Fountain of Life Christian Center. I'm trying to see whether I could see the town that's located in, but they have something called Life Fest that they do every year, and I might be attending it. Usually it's for like younger people, but I asked Rocky Nails, as we call him, if he's the MC, and he's been on our show with the Fountain of Life Worship Band. It's on Newberry Road, 290 Newberry Road in Middletown, Pennsylvania. That's kind of in your neck of the woods,
that's
right?
like between where I live and Hershey.
There you go. And it's August 10th and 11th. It's called Life Fest 2018. And Rocky's going to be calling into our two programs in July.
Oh, cool.
To talk live about it.
Very good.
And what Anna Laverne is working on right now she's working on getting us some of the artists that will be there. We have one of the artists. She used to be called. Her and her husband used to be called Whitney Bree, but now they call themselves. I'm just trying to think. I believe it's called. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a complete blank. But they changed the name, and they are going to be there, and they're going to be on our show in August.
Okay.
Actually, in July, we're going to have both shows in July dedicated to plugging this festival.
Okay. Good.
So we're really excited about that. I wanted to get. Here we go. Here is the lineup for that day. They're basically. We're also trying to get. I usually don't have rappers and hip hoppers on my show, only because it's nothing personal. It's just my personal. I guess I have a hard time understanding the music, being an old fart that I am. But at the same time,
not your thing.
It's not my thing. But even though I don't understand it, when people send me something and they got rappers and hip hoppers appearing, I like to listen to, especially if it has a darkened link on Facebook. That means you could go right to their website.
Yeah.
So there's a husband and wife team called Brick Snow Straw. And they're both pastors. They're husband and wife. And I like rappers and artists that even though they rap, because that's what God told them to do, that's what God led them to do, that's the way they could communicate to the audience that God has called them to go reach. But I like it where they're talented enough that if they want to sing, they could sing too.
Oh, yeah.
And Brick Snow Straw, man, can the first lady of that church sing, man.
Yeah.
So when I heard them, I said, I want them to represent the rappers that are going to be at the Life Fest, and so hopefully they're from New York City. Hopefully they're going to be doing some stuff in the area, and they could arrange so they could pass by.
Very cool.
The other one that's going to be on is a band called another husband and wife team. One is Hispanic and one is African American, called Parallel instead of Parallel. And they are incredible, and both of them could sing besides rap and hip hop.
Interesting.
So hopefully they'll be on, and they might be either call-ins if they can't come live. I told Anna we could maybe record a call-in, except since Rocky's going to be calling in, talking about it every week, and we only have one unfortunately incoming line here.
Right.
We're trying to coordinate that, but we're not going to give up because I really want to promote this event. And last but not least is a young lady who has quite a testimony, and so God gave her a serious voice, and that's what she calls herself, Serious Voice.
Serious voice.
To talk about what once was and what Christ can do and where you should be headed for.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
So those are the three rappers, but also we're going to have, thank goodness he changed the website. Whitney Britt, or whatever they call themselves, is Beauty for Ashes now. And they are going to be in studio. They are going to be in studio.
Who is it? Beauty
for Ashes, not to be confused with the song by the band that won the Battle of the Bands last year.
Oh, okay.
The duo is called Beauty for Ashes.
Oh, cool.
And they used to be called Whitney Britt.
Okay.
Because he's Whitney and she's Brittany. Whitney and Brittany,
Whitney.
husband and wife team.
Yeah.
But God led them to call themselves.
Cool.
Beauty for Ashes, and they are
Nice.
going to be here. They
Nice.
actually really are going to be here.
Good.
If I could open up my other thing, where Anna sent me the lowdown for the month of
The
July.
Bird's Eye Lowdown.
Yes, for the month of July. So we could talk about who's going to be here in July. Just give me a second. I will get it. If I don't have it, we'll
Here,
get
you want
it.
me to, while you're doing that, you want
Go
me to
ahead.
do our
do the freestyle thing,
all
and I'll
right.
have it by the time you're
yeah.
done.
So I'm gonna give John a break here.
Go ahead.
Hey, to all the sold out listeners and viewers, please go to hamiltonradio.net and in the top menu, click on Donations for Nonprofit Shows. Sold Out needs your help of donations for our program here at Hamilton Radio and our organization. You can help by going to Hamilton Radio and click on the PayPal button to donate your gift of $5, or click on the PayPal button that says Give Anything or More. So please go to Donations for Nonprofit Shows and donate your gift of $5 or more. This will be greatly appreciated and will help the program to continue its show here at Hamilton Radio. So again, like I said before, this is about paying the bills here at the radio station. So shows like this can happen, because
That's
right now HR2 is predominantly Christian programming.
On Sundays. I don't
Sundays.
think they do it any other day.
On Sundays, okay. So
We're
on
going to have a
Sundays.
24/7 Christian channel. HR5 is, I believe, it's going to be. Might be HR. Is it HR5?
But we need your help.
But we need your help. Well, that's what I was trying to
so
say.
this kind of
Listen,
stuff is going to help.
if you
what Rick's
like
talking
this, if you love this, and if you like any of the other programming that you hear on Sundays, you can actually be a direct help in this. So again, any money given here goes into none of our pockets. It goes into the station so that we can bring you more and more Christian programming. We're coming to a time where it's getting harder and harder to find. So your donation will help our cause of spreading the gospel. Thank you for
And-
tuning in, and God bless you.
And there certainly isn't anything out there playing that specializes
No.
in what we do, playing this type of stuff.
Yeah, and we enjoy doing this.
Right.
There are, people feel like you get, you have to listen to this or you have to listen to that, and the fact is that we're giving you options.
That's right.
We're not held to the same 12 songs. We bring in, people like Matt and people who you've heard on before and people who you'll hear down the road that love Jesus just as much and play, in my opinion, better songs than the 12 or 14 that are picked to play 24/7 on any given.
That's right.
So, and I don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but there is so many indie Christian artists that need to be heard, and Matt's definitely one of them.
Definitely.
And
Thanks.
and so, well, absolutely, man. And but you all have a direct effect on that.
That's right.
So
Even if it's only $1, just give it whatever you have.
absolutely, yeah. It doesn't, it's not
$1.
the side. What?
Oh, and I was gonna say you can donate $1, $2,
Yeah.
$5 for the program,
Right.
or if you own a business, you can actually sponsor the shows,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we would love to have you as
or
a
you
commercial
can even sponsor
spot.
the channel.
Yeah.
So that we could do a nice
That's it.
pre-recorded commercial spot. You don't have to hear me and Rich Blab.
Yeah, you can listen to Ruben's silky smooth voice.
Or my sister Adrian, who does our.
Oh, yeah, that's
does
right. She could do that.
Yeah.
Because I told her any commercials on this show, I will farm out to her to charge them whatever production cost she wants.
There you go.
And put Yo Adrian as the name of her company, Yo Adrian, on the map.
Yo, Adrian.
But anyway, speaking of Yo Adrian and putting things on the map, I did mention Life Fest. It's the verse for Life Fest is 1 John 4:7, which is beloved, let us love one another.
Yes.
For love is of God, and everyone who loves is born of
Born
God
of
and
God,
knows
knows God.
God. And it's going to be Life Fest Rocks. http:// Life Fest Rocks. If you want further information before you listen to Rocky on our show.
Yeah.
And you're hopefully going to hear some really great artists from there as well. And of course, we're going to make sure that we do that. And now you have to just wait for me to scroll up one more time, because when I'm getting other messages coming in, I lose the page that I'm on. So here we go. Our 7-1, which is our SWAT program. We're going to have a guy named who Art booked. I have no idea who this is or what he sings like, but it's going to be good. I'm sure if Art booked him. But a guy named Brendan Brooks is going to be our guest on the art program, on SWAT program, with 7-1. Also on the Try God First program just before that, I also don't know who these gentlemen are, but Ann and Pastor must have been talking, so I'm going to hopefully find out more information about them, and you come tune in on 7-1 for on the Try God First program at 2:30 p.m. Eastern with Al DeSico and Sonny, I guess is, let me see, Perganin is the name. They're going to be the guests on the Try God First program, and on the SWAT program, which starts at 4, will be Brendan Brooks. And then when Rich and I return on 7/8,
7/8,
which is the day after my birthday.
Really? Happy belated or prelated birthday.
Someone who, thank you.
Prelated.
What predated, prelated, whatever. An artist who is a living, breathing, walking miracle in that she couldn't move, speak, or walk after our youth group swimming gym night after hitting her head on a brick wall. And now before she had that accident happen, she didn't know how to play instruments. She didn't know how to write music. The lyrics actually were coming to her. She was coming out of the coma, and she was writing them down on paper. But Christabel Braden from the Allentown area,
that's awesome.
my adopted daughter, will be here.
I've always wanted to meet her. I've never met her.
She's going to be here live.
So cool.
With us for the whole 2 hours on 7/8 in studio.
Nice.
And she's now a multi-instrumentalist. She is a double major from college in spiritual studies and music studies. They said she would never finish high school. She's finished college. And she's an amazing person. She also has quite a healing ministry. And like I said, I don't care whether you believe in it or not. All I could say is she prayed over me, and I was healed of an affliction. So I'm not lying. I'm not crazy. I'm not one of these charismatic crazy nutcases. This happened. It's real. Yeah. And I wouldn't have believed it unless it happened. But she's going to talk about that and many, many other things on July the 8th. All right. As we celebrate my birthday. And that day, we have a call-in from my good friend Joshua Redding from a band right on the Maryland, I guess, Pennsylvania line called Mawcore. And they are kind of a heavy metal band, but not the ones that there's so many types of heavy metal now. But they don't like scream and do the primal.
He has a higher voice.
But he has a higher we've been playing him on our show. So Mawcore is going to be calling in live on that day, and then we also have on 7/15 on the SWAT program, unbelievable guitar virtuoso named Keith Andrew Grimm. Who's going to be playing? He's going to be on the Try God First program, and on SWAT on 7/15. You know Keith, right? Yeah. And on SWAT, we have the band Simple Tenants. So I'm going to embarrass the daylights out of them because I'm going to try and pin them down and see whether they're going to say yes or no to the Battle of the Band. But I'm going to wait till they're here so I can do it live on the air. Wow. And if they don't, then we're going to ask Matt's band to do it. Because I only have bands that I know have the potential to not only win the whole thing, but also fit in with the other bands that are already in. Yeah, so, and I really believe in both of those bands. So we'll see what happens there. Okay. So they will be here live in studio on 7/15 and on 7/22 for the Sold Out program. Of course, as we said, beyond, how can I forget? It used to be called Whitney Bree, just mentioned it before.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They're going to be on, and they're going to promote their appearance in the Life Fest.
Okay.
And so we are really excited about that. So anyway, Matt, what do you have for us next?
Well, I was kind of pondering which of my songs I was going to play. So I was either thinking of Wounded Healer or The Light in the Sea. If I only have time for one.
I think you should do both.
Maybe I should
think
do
you
both.
Have time.
All right.
Do it. Am I right in that? I'm not.
I don't know.
I think we do.
Yeah, okay.
We also didn't start precisely at 5:30, so you do have time.
All right.
So do them both.
Well, I'll do Wounded Healer next, then I'll close.
Okay.
The live performance portion with The Light in the Sea.
All right, very good. Matt Wheeler here on Sold Out.
Yeah, this one's called Wounded Healer. It's the idea behind it was inspired by the book The Irresistible Revolution, the Shane Claiborne book, and the idea is sometimes we cry out to God and we see injustices and say, how could He just let this happen? And I think sometimes God says back to us, how could you just let this happen? Like, not in an accusing way, but we're supposed to be God's hands and feet. Sometimes I think we wait for Him to show up, and it's like He's telling us, you're part of the solution. I need you to cooperate with that role. So it's a challenge to each of us, myself included. It's called Wounded Healer. The sun sets over the city and you are good. You awaken the dawn, you are good. You sent your son to live and die. For our sins he sacrificed. You offer us your love, you are good. The glory and the poverty, grace that makes beauty of ugly things. Through our weakness you show that you are good. Wounded healer, full of grace. I'm so caught up in myself, I don't recognize your face. You made us to be your hands and feet, so why are we still wondering when you'll show up? Shine your light through me. A soul rises from the ashes and you are good. A homeless child given a meal and you are good. You beckon us and your love goes free from the chains of her captivity. You fill us with your love, you are good. The darkness and the tragedy, the widows and orphans and wandering, through it all you prove that you are good. Wounded healer, full of grace. I'm so caught up in myself, I don't recognize your face. You made us to be your hands and feet, so why are we still wondering when you'll show up? Shine your light through me. The sinners and saints and politics, we're drowned in affluence, breathe into us and show us what it looks like, 'cause you are good. Wounded healer, full of grace. I'm so caught up in myself, I don't recognize your face. You made us to be your hands and feet, so why are we still wondering when you'll show up? Shine your light through me. Shine your light through me. Shine your light through me.
Matt Wheeler live here on the Sold Out program. We're going to have Matt come back in just a little bit and we close out the program together. So for now, I want to play a couple more songs here, and then we're going to come back in live to close us out. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank Matt for being here today. It was awesome.
You, Matt.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
And I can't wait. Too bad you don't live closer, because I'd have you come down on 7/8 when we celebrate my birthday.
Make it phone in or something.
Yeah, and you sure you can. Phone number's right up there. If you want to
I see it on the screen.
It
Yes.
is, yeah.
And that'd be great. And you know, because Christabel's going to be here, and of course we're going to have good Josh Redding from Mallcore call in.
Cool.
He's a funny guy. He could be a stand-up comic, Josh.
Really?
Besides being a
Really?
front
Really?
man for a metal band, he could be a stand-up comic. The guy is awesome. You're gonna love him. You're gonna love him when you see him on.
All right.
But and also, what's going on with Hard North? We got anything coming up in the relatively next couple weeks?
No, we're still out there fishing.
Retooling and fishing and
yeah, you know, it's
putting the bait out.
it's ongoing. You guys can check out the music. It's on. We have a SoundCloud account, and we have 3 singles on Spotify. And you know, we're a Christian jam band, so it's a. We'll see what happens.
All right, well, that's awesome. Well, let's hear a couple tunes from the box. Just 2 tunes I think I'm going to play. I want to play The Refining, which is the first song I ever heard Mallcore play.
Okay.
So we're going to hear a little Mallcore right now called The Refining. We've had enough kind of like easy Sunday music stuff. So now let's really just wreck the airwaves now and light up the fire.
I know it's not that kind of. Just
No.
kidding.
Well, they are rough, but not that rough. And,
Right.
and I like it when he does it live. He's a perfectionist as far as making people understand the lyrics. When some of these metal bands sing, you can't understand anything.
That's true.
But we're going to talk about this on the next show too. There's a metal band that I became friends with the lead singer, and he's going to be at that Life Fest.
Okay.
And I might have him either stop by or call in, but because even though he's a young father, he's got a beautiful child, wonderful wife, and him and the boys can sing, but they have the one little, I guess, what do you call that, a bridge or a part of the tune where they do that primal screaming stuff that to me sounds exactly like what weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth is supposed to sound like. But a lot of kids, and I agree with him, and that's the only reason why I'm
Yeah, you got to
considering.
meet people where they're at.
That's the only reason why I'm considering having him stop by. A lot of kids, like his own son, when his son gets teens, when he grows up out of the toddler years and through adolescence and all, somehow they can relate to that. When they can't relate to, is that they can't. I don't know why. I think that's great stuff.
Hey, I grew up a metalhead, and it took,
Right.
and it takes a while to till you find bands like Tourniquet and Deliverance and these other bands that came in just to give you a choice.
Sure.
But
But then you got a lot of college kids that are listening to stuff like Mumford and Sons and the
Yeah.
Lumineers,
Right.
which is acoustic music. It's acoustic
Right.
rock.
And like harmonies, like Fleet
Yeah.
Foxes have
Yeah.
actually made a
Yes.
comeback.
Or
Right.
Lady Antebellum,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
it's crossover from country to regular. And of course, Hillary Scott is a born-again Christian in the Lord. That's why I always mention Lady Antebellum. Because she
Okay.
knows Jesus as her Savior.
All right.
So, but anyway, but you see, but somehow they can't relate to a lot of stuff. But we want to have, we might have this guy from this group come in.
Okay.
And because as he said, he really woke me up. He said, well, all I ask you to do is be open-minded and realize that we're touching a lot of people that a lot of bands can't reach.
Right.
And when he said it to me that way, it said, well, man, you just need to broaden your horizon. We get this all the time. And it really breaks our heart. Blah. No, he didn't do that on me.
No.
He said exactly what I just said. And that made me want to have him on the show and maybe have him stop by, even if it's on their way back from the festival the day
That's
after.
cool. There, some of these harder bands like Mortification,
Right.
who you hear the name and you're like, oh, but the gospel was just throughout their music,
Right.
and it is just, it's amazing to me that a lot of these bands did not reach the I don't know what's the word, as well as they were received as they should have been.
That's right.
So
They didn't get the demographic they wanted either.
right.
Any case, but there is the demographic that does relate to it, and that's what this guy from the band told me. That's the
Yeah.
ones we're kind of getting. And
That's
we
it.
Get, we get a lot of success that way. Okay, we're going to come back with Matt in just a second. Right now, we're going to hear the Refining by Mawcore, and my good friend who lives in Minneapolis, but hopefully he's coming back to the area since his whole family's out here. But a song called Be Still, because once God refines you, he wants you to be still, because as he says in this song, I have a plan to bless you. Right. Here we go. All right, we're back. And as I said, if you let the Lord come into your life, ladies and gentlemen, He's going to refine you. He's going to make you into a better person. Yeah. And as you heard Sam saying, man, Samuel Elias, He's got plans to bless you and make you a great nation that's worthy of His name, man. So if you think, once again, to come into Christianity, you have to lose a lot, for everything you lose, you gain 10 times more.
Right.
So this is your last opportunity till we meet again. But we just want you to ask Jesus to come in. Just say a prayer like, Lord Jesus, I love you. I know that you died on the cross for my sin. I'm a sinner. I'm not perfect.
We're
I
all
need
sinners.
you.
Yep.
You did it all. You gave us a free gift so that I could live with you forever. So if I were to die tomorrow, I know that I'll be in an amazing place with you immediately.
Absolutely.
And that the rest of my life that I have to live out, I'll have meaning and purpose, and you'll have a plan that blesses me and makes me a nation that's worthy of your name. You give me a life that's more abundant than any other times hanging out at the Super Bowl parties or at the various things I did. This is even better than all the most fun activity I've ever had. Father, just I thank you for dying for me, and I receive you as my Lord and Savior. Show me that abundant life you have to give me. I'm willing to give my life to you. It's worth a shot. And I ask this in Jesus' precious name. Amen. If you said something, anything like that, doesn't have to be exactly like that. That's why I don't use the flowery sinner's prayer. Dear Lord, I am a sinner. I am not worthy of the blood which was shed. I don't say any of those written sinner's prayer. Nothing wrong with them. I got saved through one of those puppies. But it's just conversational. Yeah. You could talk to God. He says pray without ceasing. It's kind of hard to do that if he was really serious when you're driving a car, but you don't have to necessarily bow your head and close your eye. You could. People might think I have Tourette's syndrome, but I'm constantly talking to God when I'm driving. They say, look at this weirdo talking to himself. No, I'm talking to God.
Yeah.
So he wants to be personal. It's not about religion, folks. No. It's about a relationship.
We are one heartbeat, one blink, one breath.
That's right.
Away from eternity.
That's right.
And that's all there is. When it all comes down to it, you know, I think Dr. James Dobson said it best. He says, if you are blessed enough to come to your last will in your deathbed, he says you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. Who did you love? Who loved you? And what did you do for God?
That's it.
And that's all there is. And, you know, sometimes, you know, for us wanting to be happy, this may sound like a sad thing to have to think about, but we're all going to be there. And, and you know, God loves you now. He loves you before you were born, and he'll love you when you're with him if you accept his son, Jesus Christ, as your Savior.
Amen.
There's no middle. There's no halfway, you know. This is, you got to believe or you don't, but... You know.
So if you did that, just let us know. You'll when we play our outro after Matt does this last song, you'll hear our email address, and we'd love to hear from you if you received the Lord or if you have any other questions. And I'll make sure that I get Rich in on him too. I'll CC him and make sure we get you an answer.
I want to know.
Yes, and tune in on my birthday, will you? And the best thing you could do for me on my birthday is let me know. Hey, look, you know what you guys said made sense last time, and I accepted Christ, and so you'll have a rebirthday on my regular birthday.
There it is.
So anyway, so do that, won't you? So we're going to hear one last song from Matt, and then we're going to play our outro, and we will see you on July the 8th. But also, if you tune into SWAT from 4 to 6 on July 1st, we'll be glad to have you with myself and Art as well. So, Matt, what do you have to close us out, my friend?
There's a song called The Light and the Sea, and it's awesome with strings and wires. It's kind of like a psalm. It's in those sometimes, you know, David's just like brutally honest before God, and you know, like in Psalm 13 he goes from like, God, how could you forget me, like I'm dying here, to by the time he gets 6 verses later he's remembering the promises and trusting, remembering that God's come through in the past and having faith that he's going to again. So the chorus is similar to that. It says, don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light.
Amen.
I'll let the song do the rest of the talking, and thanks again for having me.
You're welcome.
Gentlemen.
Thanks,
Come
Matt.
back again,
It's been awesome,
with
dude.
or without the whole band.
It'd be cool.
And then I could practice and learn some more backups for you.
And I will, and I will make you some Spotify cents.
There you go.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
So
Matt Wheeler.
is The Light and the Sea.
Okay.
The wind on the water The sea is dark as wine. Did you get my letter? Restlessly passing the time. All I want is redemption to make this right and new. This light burns inside of me, a silver fire for you. The daylight fades and these fears rush in. I need your grace, your whispering. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down on this windblown night. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down. Don't leave me alone in the night. Did I hear you speak to me, or was it only a dream? Stars flutter up in the sky of this mystery. All I want is redemption, overstepping this line in the sand. This light burns inside of me as you reach for my hand. The daylight fades and these fears rush in. I need your grace, your whispering. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down on this windblown night. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down. Don't leave me alone in the night. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down on this windblown night. Don't forget in the darkness what you found in the light. This candle is burning down. Don't leave me alone in the night.
Everybody, God bless you.
God bless you.
Thanks so much.
Here comes our outro. We'll see you on the 8th.
On the flip side.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Peace.
Come on, get happy when it's Sam sold out.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Sold Out. We pray the program was truly a blessing to you and invite you to join us every second and fourth Sunday live right here on Hamilton Radio, channel HR2. Please feel free to reach out to us. The address is sound4ministry@gmail.com. Till next time, this is your announcer, Yo Adrian, wishing you peace and reminding you to stay sold out to Jesus Christ.